Good morning, America. This is Martine, and this is the morning show for all you early bird risers. God bless your souls, really. This is supposed to provide news and comedy. Now, this isn't your average podcast. No. This covers anything international, because I know how many listeners, wake up with and want to hear funny news. So, to start off, let me just tell you what the show is not. So, the show will not cover any celebrities, because, I don't care. I'm not, so basically that does not include anything that an actor does, any weight they gain, who they're dating, if they release a new adult film, that I will not cover unless, it's one of my personal favorites, and I'll recommend it to you guys, because, if I like it, let's let the world know how good they are. Anyways, oh, right, I forgot to put my intro song. Let me just enlighten you with that. Good morning, America! No, actually, I like the first one better. So I'm just going to keep it with the first version of it. Now, I know it's pretty loud out there, or it's pretty loud for this podcast, but anyway, this is supposed to be better than your average, cup of joe. So, as I was saying, I'll be covering the news, so just so we can start out with something that everyone can relate to, it is looking like it's going to rain here in Rockville, Maryland. Now, I know what you're thinking. What the hell does Rockville, Maryland have to do with anywhere where I'm at, because this is a podcast. But anyways, it's important to know this is consistent for everyone. I mean, no matter where you are in the world, it is still about to rain in Rockville. So even if you're in Singapore or Los Angeles, it is still about to rain in Rockville, Maryland. And I think that is something you can keep in mind. Because if you're about to travel to Rockville, Maryland today, then chances are it's going to rain. So it's good for you to know. So, as I was saying, I'll be covering the news. Because, the news. And, of course, the news that I'm covering is, national for your own benefit. Or if you don't like it, you can just switch it off or, recommend it to someone you hate. Maybe that boss who won't give you that raise you deserve, or, that coworker who keeps telling stupid jokes, which, believe me, are quite a handful. And that comes from personal experience. So anyways, I feel your pain for having to wake up at 7 a.m. So I'm making an effort of trying to wake up a little earlier than my work time, so I can, help you guys out, give you guys a hand to wake up. And this is like a smack to the face, or like I said, a cup of joe, because that's more friendly. No one likes a smack to the face, unless you're drunk. In that case, well, you still don't like a smack to the face. But continuing. So, for starters, we got here that Pope Francis is in Cuba. Now, for those of you who don't know, Pope Francis is actually Argentinian. Yes, that means South America, people. Now, Argentina is a country in South America, because I know how bad we are with geography. So I'll just enlighten you. So Pope Francis was recently elected, Pope. Not this year. Not last year? Yeah, I think last year. Anyways, he doesn't have hair. He's a really cool guy. And he's from Argentina. I think that's the note we should end this news with. That he's a good guy. And he's going to Cuba. Which I don't know why he would do. But, he's the Pope. He's got to do stuff that, most of us wouldn't. Although Cuba, they say, it's pretty nice. But anyways, moving on. So, what else do we have here? So, apparently, there was a wildfire north of San Francisco. Now, the wildfire unfortunately destroyed, 162 homes, blah, blah, blah. And it was pretty bad. Now, my question is, what is a wildfire? I mean, you think about it, aren't all fires wild? I mean, it's not like one of them just finally, what's it like? Hey, oh, Sparky, oh, stay, no, don't go west, stay there, I said stay, we have a wildfire. I mean, is that how it goes? If he doesn't listen to you, if the fire doesn't follow your every bid, then is it a wildfire? Food for thought, people. Food for thought. So, anyways, there weren't really that many good morning news, unfortunately, because, it's pretty boring. It's a Monday. No one brings in interesting news on Mondays. They wait till Friday, When people are excited, they're like, okay, let's put some real good stuff in. So, everything else is just, a toy. But we have, Time Warner and Charter Communications are merging soon. Anyways, soon enough, I hope. Because Time Warner is really going down. I mean, with their quality stuff. Ever since 2.5 Men. Yeah. The good old days. Before, Ashton Kutcher dropped in and did his thing. Time Warner had some good channels. I mean, some good episodes, good, shows. And then, suddenly, it just fell apart. It was like, it was a heartbreak. I mean, it was one of the saddest moments of my life. Nah, just kidding. But it was pretty bad. Now, Volkswagen shares fell nearly 21%. So, all of you in, what was the street again? It included a wall. Yeah. And I think it was something street. Wall Street, my bad, Wall Street. So anyone who's in Wall Street might want to listen to this part of the news. This is my financial advice. If you have Volkswagen shares, hold on to them. Yes, you heard me correctly. Hold on to them. Why? Because the shares fell nearly 21%. Of course, if you're listening to this podcast and you're really taking my advice for Volkswagen shares, then my advice to you, change careers. Definitely. Because you're going to hear this God knows when. And if you hear this and you take my advice, then clearly stockbroker is not your career. I mean, you might do it, you might make a lot of money, but sooner or later, it's going to go south. And when I say south, I mean like American. When Americans say south, south means bad, apparently. Because then anything south of Virginia is bad. This is according to culture. I didn't say anything, I'm completely, non-discriminatory. This is a free radio. I mean, I accept everyone listening to it. Asian, dark skinned, because you can't say black because everyone's super sensitive nowadays, and yellow. Of course, if you're Chinese, I suggest you turn away because I don't like you. Nah, just kidding. I mean, I love Chinese food, yes, and I love the Chinese. Yeah, well, I love the fortune cookies. Does that count? Well, anyways, moving on. So, another news for Wall Street, because I'm great at financing. That's why my bank account is negative. Now you think negative. What does that mean if it's negative? That means your credits surpass your deposits. And that means you owe more than you have. Now, for a lot of people, you're like, how can that happen? But truth is, most of America can empathize with my situation. And that's true. True story right there. Believe it or not. I should have said, believe it or not, true story right there. But, the order of the factors really doesn't alter the end result. And that sounds fancy, but in reality, it's just the reality of things. So, stock futures are edging ahead this morning. European shares are mostly higher, and Asian indexes are mostly declined. Okay then, so whoever understands whatever that is, good for you, and you're welcome. Of course, if you really find this annoying, you can just look up NewYorkTimes.com, because that is exactly what I am doing. Yes, that is exactly what I'm doing. So, moving on. So, we have a Native American boy pulled from class over mohawk haircut. Now, we talk about free country, we talk about free expression. Are you kidding me? Come on, people. Why would you... How? I mean, why? What's wrong with people? I mean, if I were the principal, if I were the, whoever's in charge of, schools in that area, I'd smack him in the face and say, dude, he wants to wear a mohawk, you let him wear a mohawk. I mean, what is wrong with that? I mean, it's not even an ugly mohawk, it's a nice little, boy with a mohawk. Well, this doesn't mean anything, it's not anarchy, it's just a haircut. My God, people, stop being so sensitive. Seriously. And moving on, we have Christian soldiers with a specialty-made assault rifle. Now, this makes perfect sense. Why? Because who's gonna hunt down the werewolves and the vampires? They need those silver bullets, man. Otherwise, we're gonna all turn into werewolves. And then you know what? We're gonna be in werewolf land, and that is not good. Unless you're a werewolf, in that case it's awesome. But I'm not. If any of you are, good for you, I think. So, anyways, and with the vampires, I know what you think, what you're thinking. Don't they have those wooden stakes and those crosses? Yes, but truth is, you always have to have a plan B. If the stake doesn't work, you gotta shoot those vampires. I mean, you won't kill them, but at least, you'll make them bleed, and if they bleed long enough, then they should die, right? Because they need blood. It's like us. They're like humans with teeth. Yeah, with teeth. Anyways, that's still us, but you get the point. So, police arrest suspect in highway shootings that terrorize Phoenix motorists. Now, for all you in Phoenix, I know what you're thinking. Good for the police. That is right. So, any people that are like, F the police, you're like, no effing the police. They did their job right. And that is great news for Phoenix. And now, probably, if the guy is not completely white, they're gonna actually attack him and say, the police brutality. Now, police brutality has been on the high rise lately, and I agree. I mean, I'm usually in favor of the police, not because I'm white, even though I am, but because, sometimes people do dumb stuff to get the police against them. The police, I love saying that. Anyways, so, yeah, I guess, in this case, I think if there were police brutality, it's rightfully, unless it's not the guy. And if it's not the guy, then police are clearly abusing their power, which is not good at all. So, we have another Whole Foods mess, because there apparently has been abuse alleged at pig farm linked to chain, and that chain happens to be Whole Foods, which is the market for all the vegetarians and the vegans out there who are, wealthy or just don't know how to save money, or just like spending money on the same food that you can find in the supermarket. Now, let me tell you something. And let me make this very clear to all you listeners out there, which are probably, a little too many. Just kidding. Probably no one's listening to this. But anyways, so, listen closely. Whole Foods is a scam. Yes, it is a scam. They sell you the same stuff, because I can't say bad words here. I'm trying not to. I'm holding my tongue back. Literally. Can you hear me? Yeah. So, anyways, Whole Foods is a scam, because they sell you the same stuff 3 times more expensive. I mean, if you want to spend 3 times more, take a flight to Dubai,